Well, what did I tell you? It looks like they're already at it. Welcome to Courage and the Constitution. I'm just a guy digging behind the headlines to get to the nuggets of truth. I'm tired of the rhetoric and the propaganda. I'm being lied to by the media. I just want to know what's going on in the world. So let's do this. Just a couple days ago, there were some gun manufacturers that were raided by the ATF. And yes, I did say raided. You go online, you Google it, look at the reports, you can see it says that right there. In fact, on Wall Street Journal, it even talked about how they were raided. So who's the ATF? The ATF is the arm of the government that enforces firearm regulations, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. They're the ones to whom they charge taxes. We've already talked about, and they're the ones that regulate what guns you can have, what guns you can't, depending on what laws are passed by the government. So they went in and they raided these manufacturers. One of them, including, is Brownells. When anybody in the gun community will know who Brownells is. They're a major distributor of firearms and firearm parts and accessories, rounds, and so forth. Very, very big in the gun community world. So what was that raid all about? I'll tell you. They went in and they were going after ghost guns. Ghost guns. Now, that's actually a part of the Biden-Harris plan that I'll go over in a little bit. But why is that important? And what are ghost guns? Ghost guns are essentially guns built out of kits or guns that you can make and manufacture at home. Now, let's talk about that for just a moment. Building guns out of kits. You buy all the parts and you take it and you assemble it at home. And guess what? You get it serialized. Serialized. All right. I know they like to say that ghost guns are not serialized. Well, you do get them serialized. The other part of a ghost gun is people who just do it all from scratch at home. And what they will often do is they will get a 3D printer. They'll get the dimensions and so forth for the gun. They plug that into the printer and it prints out their own parts of a firearm. Usually it's just the lower part. And then you get sliders and that kind of stuff for the top. So it prints. And why are they making such a big deal about ghost guns? Well, first of all, ghost guns are not a real thing. They are a made-up term, again, by the government, just like assault rifles and weapons of war. No, ghost guns do not factor into some huge high number of crimes either. So why does the government want to regulate them, and actually not just regulate them, but ban them outright and confiscate them, such as what they were doing on these raids? It's because they have a fear, just like how they had the fear of silencers, that, well, we have these things, so they could be used in these terrible crimes. Are they being used in those crimes? No. No. But, remember, low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit. Putting a squeeze on the gun community a little bit more at a time. Taking those freedoms and just getting a little tighter, just crushing a little harder around the neck. So, what they did is they went in and let's make another point really quick. It's just about ghost guns and crime, just really quick. Let's just make it quick. We'll say that do yourself at home, ghost guns. So anybody who wants to go out and commit a crime, they're not going to invest the amount of money, which is fairly steep, into buying a 3D printer, and then to buying the plans, and then to buying the materials, and printing it all out. And then you have to machine these things, right? You have to drill them and all sorts of things. So then you have to machine these. Then you have to get the other parts, and you have to assemble it all up. And are they all plastic? No, they're not. There's metal components to it. So can you take a ghost gun through an airport and get onto a plane without them knowing? No, you can't. So somebody who wants to go out and commit a crime, they're not going to go and get ghost guns. They're not going to take the time and invest the money to do that. Ghost guns are there for hobbyists and people who want to build their own and have the enjoyment of being able to build their own as part of a hobby, as part of what they enjoy doing. So no, the ghost guns, these are not. No. So when the ATF went in and raided, one of the things they did is they demanded that, and this isn't even law, but with the potential of Biden-Harris getting in and the ball that is already rolling and the machine that's already turning, those gears just moving and cranking it along, they're feeling very emboldened. So when they went in, they raided and they asked for the records of everybody who has purchased from them these ghost guns or ghost gun parts or machine or whatever. So yes, they raided, and they're getting people's records. Why? Because there's a plan of coming up and starting to knock on doors. And they said that they're not going to try to come after our guns, and they're not going to try to confiscate. Well, guess what? That's exactly what they are gearing up to do. So to those people who said, they're not coming for your gun, they're not going to mess with your guns, you'll be fine. You're wrong. You are absolutely 100% wrong. They are. That's exactly what they're trying to do. And if you're going to go into a manufacturer like this one in Nevada, like Brownell, like these different people, and you start demanding that the government starts demanding that they hand over the records of people who have purchased legally, have done nothing wrong, the manufacturers have done nothing wrong, but they want those names and those addresses, you better believe it has everything to do with a confiscation. There is no other reason why they just want to have names. They just want to have a registry just because, just in case. Absolutely not. What are they going to do? Knock on everybody's door and say, hey, are you planning on going and committing a crime? No, they're not. They want to know who has what because they're gearing up to come and take them. 100% not for money. That is why, that is the point of having that kind of registration and raiding a facility that did nothing wrong in order to gain who their customers are. So when we get to the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris plan on ghost guns, I'll make mention of that again. But because this news just broke, I wanted to let you know about it. So yeah, be absolutely assured, if the Democrats do win the Senate in Georgia and they get all the power, guess what? Guess what? And those of you who say they're not going to mess with your guns, you could not be more wrong. Could not be more wrong. If this information is important to you, like, share, subscribe. It does a lot to help us all out. And I also want to know your feelings on it. I want to know if you've heard anything else that because the story's just broke, but I want to know if you've heard anything else. If you could put it in the comments below, let's keep this conversation going because, Second Amendment shall not be infringed. Says who? Says us.